Welcome to Feng Shui Living, the podcast designed for busy women who want to de-stress, live with intention, and create a home that truly supports their well-being. Each week, I'll bring you practical tips, insightful ideas, and simple strategies to enhance both your home and your life. Let's get started. If you love this podcast and you're ready to go deeper into this work, my book, Aligned at Home, is designed to help you start shifting your space right away with simple, approachable guidance. And for those of you who like something maybe a little more hands-on, the Aligned at Home workbook gives you prompts, exercises, and checklists to actually walk through your home and make some changes. You can snag links for both the Aligned at Home book and workbook in the show notes. Hello there. Welcome to Feng Shui Living Podcast. I'm your host, Lisa Morton. So happy to have you here. And today we are reaching into the mailbag to do some Q&A. It's been a little while and I have 3 really good questions here. I wanted to start out by sharing something really cool that I just did. It was so fulfilling. I've had so many amazing experiences with my book. So many wonderful experiences in the writing, the publishing process, and now promoting it and sharing it with everyone. And I had just a really fulfilling moment. Last weekend, I went to my hometown and my public library hosted an event for me. I left that day feeling so many warm fuzzies and so many just so much beautiful energy. And I just wanted to share a little bit about it with you. I went back and it was, I think I had 35 people attend my talk, and I shared about my work. I shared about how I got into this style of design feng shui work and how I kind of morphed it into my own approach. And then I also shared about my book, of course, and the writing process and why I wrote it, of course, and then answered a lot of questions. And actually, one of the questions today was basically asked in that session at the end. So we're going to go into that. But oh gosh, it was so fulfilling. I saw some of my favorite teachers, and we're talking from lower elementary. So first, second, third grade. These women came, and it was so special to hold them and just hug them for a moment and just connect. They're older, I'm older, obviously, but it was really fulfilling. I also had my dear friend Wendy, she was my first friend ever. She was my neighbor, and we were the same age. We graduated high school together. We grew up together. I spent a lot of time at her home. Her mother babysat me when I was really little, and we just played all the time. I would ride my bike to her house all the time, and she would ride her bike to my house. And we hadn't seen each other in a very long time, and she surprised me at my event. And it was just so nice to be able to hug her. So I'm still riding on these like warm, fuzzy feelings from this past weekend, but we're going to get into the Q&A really quick. If you ever have a question, you can always respond to my weekly newsletter and send me your question. You can also send it to me on social media too, at Feng Shui Living Podcast. Now, if you aren't signed up for the newsletter, here's what I want you to do. Go to the website, Pure Living with Lisa Morton, click on the podcast tab, and then if you scroll down, you will see a button and it says never miss an episode. And that is where you'll sign up for my weekly newsletter. Every Wednesday morning, it goes out. It has the audio and video links to this week's podcast, as well as some bonus episodes, bonus content, bonus downloads, what's going on, new things I have in the works, and so much more. So I hope you'll pop over and sign up for the newsletter. So I reached down into the mailbag and grabbed out question number 1, which was sent to me by Adrian. How can I bring more money and abundance into my life? This is a good one. I haven't done a wealth and abundance episode in a while. I think I'll have to add that to the list. But the first thing I would tell you is to Find a little luxury in your life. How can you amp up your day to day? Maybe that's drinking your water out of a beautiful glass. Maybe a wine glass. Maybe pull out a cloth napkin for dinner. Maybe wear those fabulous shoes that you save for special events. Wear them on an ordinary day. I really want you to amp up that feeling of really living in a more financially abundant state. And that is your normal. Okay. So when we dive into the house, then I'd suggest finding your wealth and abundance energy center or in the Bagua map. So to find this, you want to imagine walking in through your front door. Your back is to the door. You're looking to the rear of the home. Now, this is using the 3-gate method, okay? So as you walk in, I want you to find the far left corner, the rear left corner of your home. That is your wealth and abundance corner. So this is an area you really want to make it feel luxurious, beautiful colors that make you think of luxury. I always say royal blue, reds, beautiful purples, right? Make us think of royalty. So check into that. See how you can amp up the colors. Maybe it's all just kind of dull and it feels pretty basic. Let's amp up your life in this area. Bring in those luxurious items and maybe splurge on a great piece of fantastic art that's maybe not totally out of your budget, but pushing you a bit. Okay, just some quick steps to bring in a little more wealth and abundance into your life. Question two. Question two is from Marta, and Marta said, I'm feeling really frozen and stuck lately. What should I do first? First thing I want you to do is to remove something. Now, this oftentimes you'll hear me talk about clearing clutter, but sometimes it's as simple as removing one thing, right? Sometimes it's that one thing that's blocking us, that one thing that's standing in our way from moving forward, from getting what we want. So I'm going to have you do a little experiment. If you're driving, then keep on driving and maybe try this at another time. But if you are sitting still, quiet somewhere, close your eyes for a moment. And I want you to imagine yourself in your home and picture it. Really, truly picture it. And then I want you to ask yourself, what is that thing, that object, that pile, that whatever that's standing in my way, that's blocking me, that's causing me to be stuck? And then just listen. Okay, so try this, see what comes up, trust whatever comes up. And this is also a great time to journal. If you want to do a little bit of journaling, you can take this prompt, see whatever came up, and journal on it. Write out your thoughts and feelings about it and just see what comes up. Okay, so that is my answer to Marta. If you're feeling stuck and frozen, this is the very first thing. We have to make space in our lives for new things to come in, new opportunities, new experiences. And if we don't, there's nothing new is going to come in, right? We need to make space for energy to land. So remove that one thing that's really blocking you. And then, of course, you can just start decluttering and clear more clutter, because the more you move and the more you shift, the more empty space you have for more energy to come in. But start with that one thing. Start with the visualization. Really imagine yourself in your home. Okay? All right, Marta, good luck. On to question number 3 is from Jill. This is the one interesting that I got this at the talk the other day, and I had to talk through it because I had husband and wife in the second row, and you can tell they're polar opposites in terms of how they like to live in their space. And the question is, how do you approach two people living together who live very differently? Again, this was sent in by Jill. Thank you, Jill, for the question. Well, I think this is what I told the couple in the front row as well, that I always joke, interior design school, they should give you some sort of like counseling training because you can have really strong opinions with couples, with spouses, with partners. And it can be something really tricky to navigate. I remember I worked with someone in Florida, and the husband likes very clean, tidy, very like minimalist, clean, nice, organized spaces. And the wife is like, well, I just want everything at hand, really convenient. I like things out so I can see my things that I love. But they weren't meshing. And so we had to get really creative with some different things we did. And we even talked about the paint sheen, right? And different things that we could do to make him feel comfortable, as well as her to feel like she's surrounded by the things she loves. I always say that if you feel called to something, a color, a pattern, artwork, imagery, a plant, whatever, if you feel truly called to that thing, you're craving it. You need to bring that into your space. So if maybe you love the color pink and your partner is saying, no way, I don't like pink. Well, how can you have that in a space that maybe your partner doesn't really have to spend time around the pink things? That could be maybe you have separate closets, or maybe you have a section of the closet, or maybe you have a really cozy pillow on your favorite chair that's pink. Okay, so think of creative ways to bring those in, because I'm a big believer if you are craving that in your body, like you need that for some reason. Now, here's something that I personally do. I love a little more hippy dippy boho chic vibe than my husband does. And so while I have, of course, rocks and crystals and things that he enjoys, I know he doesn't care for some of like the macrame and things aren't his favorite thing. Well, those things go in my home office. So if you have a home office, that is a great place to bring in those things that you love, where you spend a lot of your time, and then your partner doesn't have to see them. Also think of natural ways that you can bring in maybe a color or pattern or something. I always say the color green. In all my years as an interior designer, I have found people have very strong opinions about the color green. They either really love it or they want nothing to do with it. Now, I always say you just haven't found the right color of green, because there are so many amazing colors. And green is a neutral in my world. Green is natural. Green is everywhere outside. So here's my trick. If you're craving green and your partner says, no way, well, bring in a green plant. They can't say no to that. Bring in a green plant, maybe some flowers, or even open the windows so you can get a better view of the outside if there's trees and shrubbery and bushes and plants. Okay? Just a quick just a quick tip on how to connect with some green if you are craving that. All right. Thank you to Adrienne, Marta, and Jill again for your questions. Don't forget, you can sign up for my newsletter over on my website on the podcast tab. Scroll down to where it says never miss an episode. And if you want to go deeper and perhaps work together, you can sign up for one of my free 15-minute discovery calls. You're not tied into anything. It's simply you have some questions you want to talk through. You're curious how this whole process works. Sign up and we'll have a chat. And yeah, easy peasy. Sign up for that over on my website as well. Links in the show notes, of course. All right, friends, I will see you at our next episode. Take care. Special thanks to our sponsor, Elevated Living School of Holistic Design and Feng Shui. For more information, head over to the show notes. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to subscribe, give us a 5-star review, and share this episode with a friend. We'll see you next time.